Hi, my name is Amanda Pogachnik. I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences teacher at the high school. One of the classes I was able to teach this year was Advanced Culinary Arts. And in that class, there's basically a capstone project that covers everything the students have learned even last year in their Intro to Culinary Arts class. And so they got to put all those skills to use in this final project. So the restaurant concept began with the idea that students could design a restaurant that they would love to go to as a customer. And I really pushed them to think about what that might look like, what it might sound like even, and how it would feel. So they had to decide all of the details, everything from the restaurant decor, including plates and silverware and table settings and tablecloths, to what their service staff would wear, shoes to shirts and costumes even. So everything started with creating and focusing on building an environment. Then the lab groups had to interview and hire their peers for specific jobs within the restaurant. So for example, we had servers, bussers, dishwashers, we had a front of house manager, soup and salad and prep cooks. And so they had to interview one another for those roles within their own restaurants. I then interviewed the lab groups for their leadership roles. I found that interview process was a really strong real-world experience, and the students thought so too. So once the concept, ideas, and staff were all in place, students started to research what actual recipes and foods they would want to serve in their restaurant. So I asked them to utilize different cooking methods that we had learned over the last really 2 years of coursework to put together a cohesive menu that fit with their design concept. We even got to go grocery shopping as a class for their ingredients, and so they got to pick and choose what they thought would work best on their menus. Next, we went through training days, and that way everyone would know what they were supposed to do on their days of service. And so they trained themselves on recipes and refined them, taking notes on their recipes and planning to train the staff. And then that way they could take the entire class one day and teach them how to perform all the recipes within their restaurant. The day before service day, we had a prep day where any foods that could be prepped in advance were, but also the restaurant space was prepared. So students broke apart into multiple groups. Each were working on different tasks all at the same time. We had some students creating their uniforms for staff with like iron-ons and even screen printing. We had students covering up the conference room windows with curtains and hanging twinkle lights from the ceiling, and then doing full table setting. So it was really interesting to see how they planned that out and organized themselves. Students were asked to hand-pick their restaurant guests. They were only able to serve 4. Many students chose family members, but many staff were also able to participate. All the guests at the end of their dining experience filled out a comment card, and then the students were able to review those cards the next day. So they had really quick feedback on how their entire restaurant came across from their customers' perspectives. Customers were asked to reflect on the staff and their service, the food, and also the room in general and how it all came together to be one cohesive concept. On the service days, all the students came together and helped each other out. We had quite a few absences at the time, and so it was great that students really stepped up to help other groups to create those well-planned meals and serve them to their guests. Overall, the entire experience and response from staff and the students was extremely encouraging. On top of all that, students were really able to use all the skills they've learned over the last 2 years, and to see them put them into action was really encouraging for me, and I also think for them.